What is going on, my sweets? It's your girl Tay here, that Amethyst Witch, and yes, it is time. It is time for the yearly post NPC vlog, and I am making this a That Amethyst vlog because I really need to start locking in on that. As usual, I don't have any talking points with this. I'm just going to yap as the words come to me. But I will start off by saying this was one of the best so far. Now, I've only been to 4, right? 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah. So this was only my 4th NPC, but out of the 4 that I've gone to, I'm going to be real. I think 2024 was my most favorite on a personal level, but as an experience overall, I would have to say that 2025 was my favorite, like for the event experience. I will say that the venue, great, fantastic. I had been fortunate enough to be able to purchase the Mythic ticket, which was you get the VIP kickoff party on Friday, obviously the concert, and then the meet and greet. So, Friday, I will say, so the venue essentially is two venues attached together. You have the Bomb Factory and then you have the studio. And to me, it was very reminiscent of a venue that we have here in Philly called the Electric Factory that also has a smaller venue attached to it called the Voltage Lounge. I have been to my fair share of shows at the Voltage Lounge. That's how I know it's connected to the Electric Factory. Anyway, so the VIP kickoff party was taking place in the studio, and I will say that I feel like the space of the studio, like the studio venue, was a little cramped. I kind of felt like for how many of us that there were that purchased Mythic, and then there was also the legendary pass holders that purchased the Mythic upgrade. I feel like even if it hadn't been for that extra add-on, we still would have been pretty smushed in there, right? Like it was very overwhelming at first. Of course, after a drink or two, I kind of got like used to it and everything. I did manage to speak to a whole bunch of people, namely my favorite people, obviously. Astric and McGuire were the first 2 that I saw. I had a nice conversation with LSC. That was really fun. Loved talking about music with him. I told him about how I went to school for this stuff, and then I went to school for music and sound production, and then after I graduated, I had no idea what to do with this knowledge that I had. So I just didn't touch anything for like a year and a half. So I feel like I apply a lot of what I learned in school to my reaction videos, and I feel like that has definitely helped me a lot because I said this to him, and I've said it to you guys a bunch of times. Music has been the absolute love of my life for as long as I can cognitively remember me being aware. Like, for as long as I can remember, like, music has just been the one constant in my life. So it has always been my absolute love. But yeah, so it was very fun. It was very nice talking about music with him because he shares the same sentiment towards music. If not, he loves it more than I do. And he's also just stupid talented, which I have said a bajillion times on this channel. It was really nice, actually. I kind of feel like we were all kind of like jam-packed into that venue. But I was able to breathe when we got to the main venue, which was the Bomb Factory. And this venue was huge. Like, if you were at NPC in Raleigh, whether it was last year or the year before, picture the Ritz, but maybe like twice that size. I honestly feel like if they had sold 4,000 tickets, we still would have had a significant amount of breathing room. I don't know how many tickets were purchased. I know that, obviously it wasn't 4,000, like the event didn't sell out, but I will say that it was still a very good turnout, and that makes my heart happy. A lot, obviously a lot of people purchase like the mythic and legendary passes, but a lot of people did purchase only the 1-day passes for the concert. I loved the venue. The venue itself was so spacious. It was so cool. Like, I really, really loved it. However, the location of the event was not my favorite. And I'm going to sum this up in one statement, I can say that I have been to Dallas, and I can say that I never wish to go back. And I just want to state that I have not traveled a whole lot in my life. Growing up, my only travel was to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and that was it. So, what I have liked about NPC being in a different city is it has allowed me the opportunity to travel to a different city that I haven't been to. Like, I've been to Chicago. I can say that I've been to Chicago. Honestly, I would probably go back because I was only there for like 3 days. But I would probably go back to Chicago. I will not go back to Dallas. I would go back to Raleigh. I really did like Raleigh. I will not go back to Dallas unless I have to. Unless NPC is in Dallas again, I will never set foot in that godforsaken city ever again. And I don't want this to come off as me like shitting on Dallas, but I'm just going to say that it was a little bit anxiety inducing because I'm gonna talk about the highways for a second. What the fuck? Now I didn't drive at all, right? I flew out to Dallas. Faye and I flew out to Dallas, and we either Ubered or our friends drove around because they had a rental car. But even then, like just being a passenger, I'm looking at these fucking highways as we are driving, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I thought North Jersey was bad, right? I have I haven't driven in North Jersey in like years, but I would drive up that way so many times in my early 20s to go to like shows and stuff. I thought that was bad. I thought that was anxiety inducing. That is a cakewalk to what I experienced in Dallas. We didn't experience a whole lot of issues. We didn't really experience any issues at all. Like we didn't have any troubles with like any people in the city or any of the locals. Like honestly, like all of the people that we came into contact with for the most part were nice. There were a few people that were a little questionable. But all in all, like most of the people that we did come into contact with that were locals were nice. Something that absolutely broke my heart was the sheer amount of homelessness and poverty that I witnessed. And one image that really just kind of stuck with me was, I forget who I was with, but I remember we were driving past a McDonald's and there was a gentleman literally sleeping on the sidewalk. Like just sprawled out on the sidewalk, like got like he had either his sleeping bag or a coat or something as his pillow. I'm not sure, but he was laying in the shade because, you know, it's Texas in the middle of summer and like it's near 100 degrees. So he's trying to get cool no matter what he can do. Anyway, so he's sleeping on the sidewalk. Like he doesn't have anything underneath him. He is on that fucking cement. And I'm not even kidding. He's here and maybe a couple yards away was one of those fuck ass benches with the bar in the middle. And I do think that, you know, the severe cases of poverty and homelessness in a lot of our urban areas, on top of the anti-homeless architecture, is a discussion that needs to be had, and it has been being had online, but I think it's one that needs to be taken a little bit more seriously, especially by the powers that be. I had never seen that in real life, ever. I had never seen anti-homeless architecture in real life until that moment. And seeing it in such close proximity to someone who is trying to get rest, to someone who is trying to get comfortable, it was genuinely heartbreaking, and I do not think I'm ever going to be able to get that image out of my head because it was so impactful. I don't know, like seeing just the issue with anti-homeless architecture in real life was jarring. Like I don't want to say like it made it real because like obviously it is real. I never thought that it wasn't, but I don't know. Like it was like a wow moment. I don't know how to describe it, but like my heart aches seeing that. Now, I did have a pal who does live in the Dallas area who did say that allegedly Dallas has like really good homelessness reform and really good homeless shelters. And this is all alleged. This is just what they told me. Um, but allegedly Dallas has like, one of the best like homelessness reforms in the country. And if people are out on the streets, they either don't know about the shelters or there is a reason they are not in the shelters. And that is just what they told me. So I don't know how true that is because I don't know Dallas. This was my first time going to Dallas, but um, that still broke my heart. Like I said, the event I had a great time at. However, being in the city of Dallas, I will say, was not a good experience for me. It could have been different for somebody else, but me, myself, and I did not have a good experience in the city of Dallas, Texas. But uh, moving on to a little bit of lighter topics, I think I want to break down my weekend like throughout like during the days. Friday was the VIP kickoff party. It was a very good time. It was a very good time. I really do love the idea of having, live performances by some of the artists there, like Cami, Kathy, Lalia, Connor, so on and so forth. And everybody did such a great job. So this was my first time ever seeing Lalia live. This was my first time meeting her, but we'll get to that. So I haven't reacted to a whole lot of Lalia on my channel, if not at all. But I have been listening to Lalia for a couple years now. And when I tell you this, it's just Lalia, the woman that you are. This woman is so freaking talented. I absolutely love her voice. It is one of my favoriteest things in the world. Like I put her up there with Hala when it comes to my favorite vocalists. Like I love her vocal range. Like I love how she can go from this to this like so stupid quick. It just kind of felt like she was very kind of like in her element on stage. And if she was nervous, I could not tell. But I was just so happy to be able to witness it. She performed Last Surprise from Personified. She performed Villain from her cover album Rock Rock Out. Yeah, Rock Out. And I was just so happy because those are my two favorite covers that she's done. Also, I love her style. I just her. Like Lalia is goals, honestly. Cammy Cat. Cammy is such a wonderful person and I feel like that carries into her performance on stage. Like I feel like Cammy brings a certain energy to the stage and it's just so warm and inviting, but it's also very hype and energetic. Like I just love to watch Cammy Cat perform. Now, we're going to talk about one of my kings. You should have seen this coming. Connor Quest. I cannot put into words how amazing this man is. I have done my fair share of glazing Connor on my channel, and I'm not gonna stop. I will stop gushing over him when he stops being so amazing. Connor Quest, as I have said, is a master lyricist. I love the bars that he will throw into his verses. I love the lyrics that he writes. And it carries over into his vocal performance as well as his stage performance. Connor, like Cammy, brings such an energy to the stage that is just, you kind of just need to experience it because it cannot be put into words. Connor's stage presence is one of my favorites that I have seen from anybody, to be honest with you. And I have been to a lot of live shows in my life, but Connor is one of my favorites. Like Connor, he appears like so comfortable, like he appears so confident, like so like in his element, like so just like about his shit. And I just feel like Connor's love for music, Connor's love for his music, you can when you can already tell in his music that he releases anyway, but when he performs it, I feel like it is just a conglomeration of his passion. And I've said this before, when you can tell the artist's passion in their performance, it is one of my favoriteest things in the world. But I also want to give a shout out to the man Hisla for performing Hit My Peak with Connor. It is always such a delight. It is always so great to see. And I just love how the two of them kind of feed off each other's energy during that performance. And also, you gotta love the jump that Johnny does. So we're gonna move on to Saturday. Saturday was the day of the concert. I'm gonna be so real. I feel like Saturday was my most favorite day out of the weekend. And not only is it because of the performances, but it was also because I had my first person come up to me. I wouldn't say that they were the first person to come up and recognize me, because I think there was one person that recognized me at the kickoff party. I don't remember, and I'm sorry, but I kind of was 3 drinks in by the end of it. So with the Mythic Pass, we got in, I think, like an hour or two early. Or no, we got in an hour before everybody else because the show started at 4. But we get there, and, I was talking to McGuire. I talked to Rustage for like a minute, but, he was busy. Everybody was busy this weekend. And that was very clear to see. And I was talking with Connor, and this lovely individual comes up and obviously recognizes Connor first because it's Connor Mother Loving Quest. But they recognize Connor first, and they're talking to him. And I'm just standing there because I love seeing like my friends like interact with fans and get noticed, and it's such a heartwarming thing. And it's also just a heartwarming thing to see other people in the community like talking to artists that clearly mean a lot to them. So they're talking with Connor, and I'm just standing off to the side, and they're like, oh, sorry, I'm getting giddy talking about this. And they're like, are you Amethyst? And I'm like, yeah, I am. And I'm surprised I didn't get stunned. I just kind of like responded to it as if somebody just asked my name. I mean, technically they did ask my name, but like, you know what I mean. But they were like, are you Amethyst? And I was like, yeah, I am. And they're telling me that they love my videos. Oh my God, no. Friday, I remember who came up to me Friday. And I do remember names. I don't want to drop them in the video just for sake of privacy, but you know who you are. So I'm going to backtrack to Friday for a second. Oh my God, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, let me finish with this one, and then we'll backtrack to Friday. So anyway, but they're talking to me. They're telling me that they love my videos, and they love how passionate I am about it. And I am just so in awe that this is happening right now, because like, if you had told me in 2021 or 2020, no, we're gonna say 2021 because I feel like that's when I really kind of like locked in a little bit. If you had told me in 2021 that I would be standing at NPC at a bar with Connor Quest having a casual conversation, and that someone was going to walk up to the two of us and recognize not just him, but me, I would have been like, what are you smoking and where can I find it? But here we are. And I feel like that's just kind of what this whole weekend felt to me was, I don't want to say it was my mama, I made it moment. It was more like a, I'm going to try not to tear up by saying this. It was more like a, hey, little me, we're doing good. And we'll unpack that a little bit in a moment. But anyway, so this person, if you're watching this, I really hope you are. This person was so sweet, so kind, and just so genuine. I loved talking to them. I loved watching them talk to Connor. And they asked for a picture with the two of us. So they asked for a picture with the two of us. And it was so like, you know? Like, I was like, this isn't happening right now. But it did. And I'm still so giddy about it. Like, I'm kicking my feet right now. But yeah, so that was so nice. So we're gonna cycle back to Friday at the VIP party. Now, I apologize to this individual. As I said, I had a couple from the bar that night because it was very overwhelming. There was a lot going on. I'm not gonna drop names for sake of privacy reasons, but this person came up to me, and I cannot remember, I cannot remember if it was this person or the person from Saturday that said this, but one of them said, I don't watch a whole lot of reaction videos, but I love watching yours for your sheer reactions to stuff. And guys, I'm gonna, fuck it. I'm gonna say this. I was told, or I heard, that I overreact too much. And allow me to take this moment to be like, I'm a reactor. I do reaction videos. What the fuck do you expect me to do? Come on now. And the thing is, when you watch a reaction video of mine, and I said this to a couple people that I did meet this weekend. When you watch a reaction video of mine, that is my genuine, raw reaction. It is not played up. It is not over-exaggerated. When you see that my jaw is on the floor, my jaw is on the floor. When you see me fall off my chair, I am genuinely feeling like I need to throw myself off my chair right now because I feel like that's the only appropriate reaction to what I just witnessed. Like, that is me. That is me. That is my genuine reaction. And if you don't like it, baby, there are so many other reactors out there. So there's so many good ones that are not like me, but they have a lot of good thoughts. And there are a lot, there's a lot of chill ones out there. Like, if you don't want someone who's fallen off their chair every 5 minutes, go find another channel. You do not have to watch my content. You do not have to watch my content. That in and of itself, it was a good kind of weird, Because, and I was talking with Dean about this when we were in call a few days before NPC. Like, because Dean, Deanaling, shout out, has had people come up to him and recognize him too. And like, obviously we know y'all are real. Obviously, like, we see you guys in our comments, we see you guys in our views, we see you guys on social media, but like, to have someone to see this person that watches your content physically in front of you it's an experience that I don't think I can put into words. It's like, oh my God, like, you are real. Like, you're not just a name on my computer screen. You are a real human being coming up to me right now telling me that you love my content. And it is such a wonderful experience. I will later see that same person from Friday and the same person from Saturday on Sunday. And I signed like a couple things for people. And I didn't practice how to sign as Amethyst. So when I was like signing my autograph, I swear to God, it looks like I'm writing Amy. So that's going to be my nickname now, guys. You guys can officially call me Amy, Ammy. That happens. I get giddy. Connor and I continue talking for maybe about like 10 more minutes, and then, he's a busy man. He's got to go. Everybody was stupid busy this weekend. Understandably so. I felt like this event was bigger this year. There was a lot more going on, but it was also more organized. And I did talk to a few people who worked behind the scenes about it, and they did kind of say like, they had a lot of good things to say about the event staff, like, or the venue staff. That's great. That is so great. I like having a good staff at the venue that your event is at, I feel like goes such a long way. So moving on to the performances. JT Mother Loving Music. These guys know how to put on a show. And I will say, I'm going to say a lot of the artists that performed this weekend, if not all of them, really, really knew how to put on a show. So JT Music had somebody in a full-on spring trap suit on stage. It was so cool. It was so cool to see Skull interact with them, and just to see like them interact with the audience. Like it was a performance. It was a hell of a performance, and I'm so happy that I was able to witness that. And then after JT Music was another one of the Holy Trinity, Rustage. Rustage had arguably one of my favorite sets of the night. I loved that he brought Anora on stage, and guys, I'm just gonna say this real quick. Rustage, if you're watching this, I hope you know I love you as a performer. I love you as an artist. You know you're one of my favorites. However, Anora was definitely my favorite part out of that entire set. Rustage did great. Don't get me wrong. Rustage slayed, killed it, cooked, ate, and left no crumbs. But I just feel like, I don't know. Like, Anora just had such an energy about her, and like her stage presence. Like, she was so great. And what was also great was Rustage also had a great energy about him on stage as well, especially when he brought up the other people. He did Assimilate, which has my queen, Key the Weeb. And when I tell you, I screamed my heart out. I did. I love Key. Key is one of my favoriteest people, one of my favoriteest persons ever. Not only is she so talented, but she is so sweet, and I'm so happy that I got to hang out with her a little bit more this year. But guys, I'm gonna have to say the ladies were my favorite part of Rustage's set, because obviously you have Key, that on a personal level means a lot to me, but also professionally, amazing voice, amazing performance. She also just looked so in her element, and I'm gonna say that about a lot of people from this weekend. I feel like a lot of people were so in their element on stage, and I love that. But yeah, so Rustage, performed with Key, performed with Anora, and then also performed with Schwabity for the Vigilantes song, which, I'm gonna be so real, I did not hear it. I did not hear the Vigilantes song until Saturday, and I'm kind of upset that I just heard it then, because it is so good. But, you had Schwabity, and you had Rustage, and you had Anora on the stage, and, like, the energy was just so freaking great. And I'm so happy Rustage brought them out on stage, and I'm so happy that I feel like all three of them, honestly, I feel like everybody that was involved in Rustage's set just kind of fed off of each other's energy. And that really kind of made the experience. So I'm probably going to go out of order because I don't remember what the set list was. Game Boy Jones. So I'm going to start this section off by saying Game Boy Jones is Pookie. Game Boy Jones is officially Pookie Boy Jones. I adore him as a person. Game Boy is such a peach and a delight. Like, I love any interaction that I get with him, whether it's in person or online. Like, we love Pookie Boy Jones, honestly. The set was killer. Game Boy is another one that really puts on a show. Game Boy is another one whose energy on stage bleeds into the audience. And I feel like Game Boy, like, has this presence about him on stage that even if you don't know any of his music, you are going to vibe the fuck out to the songs that he is going to play. And obviously he plays I Need a Big Girl, and that is one of my favoriteest Game Boy songs ever. I love it so much so that my bestie Faye got us matching t-shirts with our other friend Ash and her sister that says, I need a big girl. Now, I need to talk about the papa, the, if you will, daddy of nerdcore, Daddy Fat Snaps. Another one that just had an incredible energy about him on stage. Again, another one that even if you do not know a lick of his music, you are going to vibe out. He played Malevolent again, and that is like one of my favoriteest songs of his, one of his best in my opinion. But he performed his Superman song, you know, the song that came out like a week before the event. Oh my God, was it so good? Like, I'm so happy that I got the shot that I did on my story. And if you are curious as to what the shot is, you can go onto my Instagram, go under the highlight NPC 2025. It's in there, along with as many clips as I tried to get of everyone's performance. So good. He had he had Mix up there with him. He had Game Boy up there with him. I'm certain there were other people up there because, guys, I just want to take a minute to also give a shout out to all of the NPC hype men that were a part of it, like Mix, Kuro, Frost, Ham, like oh, also backtracking to Friday, Ham did Mamacita at the kickoff party, and I lost my ever-loving mind. And just to see like almost everybody in the crowd already knew the lyrics to the Superman song. So incredible. So great. Loved it. I saved the best for last because it was quite literally my favorite set from the entire weekend. We need to talk about longest solo ever. You want to talk about someone who puts on a show? We're going to talk about him. I loved the graphics that he used on the big screen in the back. I loved that he used that to his performance, and it was so great, and I feel like I can't put it into words. He played Wear the Mask, and obviously Open the Door. And Open the Door was the last song, and quite arguably my favorite, because not only is it my favorite LSE song, it also has one of my favoriteest demon VTubers ever, Damn Dahlia. I had the pleasure of seeing Dahlia perform live last year on the VIP stage with Connor when they performed VTuber Girls Were Improving My Life. Seeing her on main stage was so amazing. I personally feel like is a natural born performer. So what happened was they did they put in the remix like towards the end of it. So Dahlia like comes out initially for like a majority of the song in like a long black dress, almost like a black t-shirt dress is kind of like what it looked like. But it was Velcroed. And so what happened was like when it gets to like the breakdown part, you have Asterisk and Maguire come out and like start dragging her away, and then her dress gets pulled off and she's in this gorgeous, stunning dress, and I can't get like a handle on the color. Like it looked like it had a slight green tint, but correct me if I'm wrong on that. Absolutely incredible. And she just slayed. Absolutely slayed. And before the performance, like it had like, you know, it had the window from the game and it had Dahlia's VTuber model in there, and then it, you know, it switched to her Ultra Demon form, and then there she was like in person. And it was just so amazing to see her perform. Like she did such an incredible job. Both of them did an amazing job. Everybody that performed this weekend did such an amazing job. I'd also like to apologize that I'm probably going to miss a lot of aspects from the weekend because I'm just saying shit as it comes into my brain. So with that being said, I'm going to backtrack a little bit to the Friday kickoff party. I can't believe I almost forgot to bring up Maguire's set. If you saw my Instagram story, As I said, I don't know what religion that was, but call me a believer. You think hearing McGuire's vocals in a song is a spiritual experience? Hearing McGuire's vocals live is a spiritual experience. And seeing him perform with Wolf Boy and Asterisk, guys, like, it's so amazing. One of my favorite things to watch this weekend was watch Asterisk just bounce around on the stage and really just give it their all, because they were also a part of Schwabity's set, which just we love Asterisk. We love Asterisk in this house. I'm gonna try and like wrap this up soon because I've been recording for 40 minutes apparently. So moving on to Sunday. Sunday was the meet and greet. There were a nice handful of people that came up to me and recognized me, that took pictures with me, and it was so like, I don't know. As I said, like, it's such like a good, it's weird, but it's like a good kind of weird. It's like but it still makes me so happy and giddy to this moment. The guy from Friday who recognized me asked me to sign, like, you know, his sketchbook, and again, you know, I signed it Amy. That's just gonna be my signature now, Amy, with a little heart. I put little hearts next to the signatures that I did. But I also spoke to the individual from Saturday, and it was so wonderful because, like, I feel bad. I really feel bad. I'm sorry that I just yapped at you, because I yap at you enough through this camera. I'm so sorry that I just yapped at you, but I just love talking to you guys about music and the music that we love. And it's also just interesting, like, when you ask me about my content, and I don't know. It just, it makes me so giddy and happy, and I can't find the right words to describe it. This is where I met Lalia, and I had so much panic. Because, like, you know, we got let in, I think, like, an hour or two before Legendary, and the first thing that I do, I abandoned my friends. I fucked off. Like, my friends went into the Schwabity Connor line. I fucked off and went to the beautiful goddess with pink hairs line. Like, I'm like, no, I need to go. I need to see this woman. I hop in the line. I am like the second person there. I'm like, you know what? I don't even care that I look eager as fuck. I hop in this line, and she's there. She is so gorgeous. Like, she is so stunning, and like, I can't, like, I felt unworthy to stand in her presence. Like, I truly felt like I was in the presence of like a queen, like a goddess. Like, she is so stunning. I have thought she has been gorgeous and stunning since day one. So we're talking, and I tell her, and I didn't tell her this. I wasn't like, dude, oh my god, like, I didn't confess my love for her, but I did tell her that, like, you know, like, I think she's absolutely stunning. I love her style. I love her music. I love her voice, and she is just so unbelievably sweet. And I'm just, I was like, this is amazing. This is amazing. And we took a picture, and it was so cute, and I will probably post it on social media at a later date. I don't know. So cute. It was so cute. But I didn't want to take up too much of her time because there was a line building. And so, you know, I said my goodbyes and went on my merry way. And, you know, I did hop in a couple other lines throughout the day. But a lot of the time, like, I did spend, like, hanging out with my friends that were just kind of attending the event. And it was a really good day. It was really fun. And all in all, the event itself was such a great experience, and it always is. I found myself kind of like reminiscing on the few years that I have had in nerdcore. I am just so unbelievably happy, and I say this all the time, and I'm going to say it again. I am so unbelievably happy to be a part of such a loving community. Do we have our hiccups? Do we have our issues? Yes, every community does. But I feel like we are very good at kind of like, I don't want to say like getting over it, but working through it. Just from day one, everybody in this community has just been so warm and welcoming to me. The people, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. The people that I have become friends with, and I don't want to even say like, I don't want to call them unlikely friends, but they're people that I never in a million years would have ever expected that I would be friends with. But they have been just so, I don't know. The people that I have become friends with just mean so much to me. And if any of you are watching this right now, like, I just want you to know how much I love you and how much you mean to me. And to those of you who came up to me and recognized me this weekend, I'm just going to tell you thank you for that so much. I'm so happy that you did. It means a lot to me as a creator to know that there's people out there that take the time out of their life, take time out of their day to watch me just yap on their computer screen or phone screen or even TV, because a handful of you guys watch my videos on your TV, and that's fucking awesome. But just to know that, like, I don't know. I don't want to say like I'm making a difference in someone's life, but that somebody enjoys the content that I create. I don't know. It brings a sense of pride to me. And it just means the world to me that, I'm able to make you guys smile, maybe make a bad day not so bad. And I think I said this on Saturday or Sunday that when I decided to become a creator, I wanted to be the one that kind of like gave a person like almost like a home, if you will, to be someone's like comfort in a world that is very uncomfortable, to almost create and I never expected to create a community, but if I did, like, I wanted it to be a space where like, people felt safe. And that's why I try my absolute best to protect it as much as humanly possible, because I want it to be a safe space for not only you guys, but for me as well. Because if I don't enjoy being in my own space, like, how can I expect you guys to? And plus, I just want to protect you guys. I want to put you guys in like a little bubble, and I just want to protect you from all of the horrible things in the world. But I had that, and I felt like I wanted to give that back. I am going to wrap this up because, guys, we're going on 50 minutes of this raw recording. So thank you to all of you guys who came up to me, and whether you just talked to me, whether we took a picture or I signed something for you, thank you so much. Honestly, that was the highlight of my weekend. And if you have any pictures, please tag me. I want to see them and I want to share them. But I also want to give a thank you to all of the artists that performed this weekend. You guys did an amazing job, and just thank you for all that you do, for the music and the hard work that you guys put in. A special thank you to the JT Boys and the Rocket Boys who put this event together, as well as the NPC staff. Thank you so much for all of the work that you have done, not just with this year, but the past years as well. Every single year has been such an amazing experience for me, from my first one in 2022 to this last one in 2025. This is the one event that I look forward to every year. This is the highlight of my year, and honestly, I just want you to know how much I love and appreciate the hard work that you guys put into this event. And to my friends that I either stayed with or hung out with throughout the weekend, I would name you guys, but surprisingly enough, that is too long of a list, and I never thought I was ever going to be able to say that. Thank you for being with me, for being around me, and just making this weekend all around great. So, with that being said, I'm going to wrap up this vlog. I love you guys so much, and just thank you for being with me. Thank you for watching my content, and thank you just for not only being a part of my community, but being a part of Nerdcore's community as a whole. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. No, wait, this one. Shit. Hang on. Yay!